dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look.
Edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the
Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? There's a war going on outside, a spiritual war that no man is safe from. And this spiritual war that's going on outside is one that has to do with programming. I went to the gym this morning, and coming back from the gym, I was walking back, and I'm just, New York City, there's tons of billboards and advertisements everywhere. You don't have to live in Manhattan or Times Square to see the billboards and the ads. And I was just walking by and being conscious of all the things, cigarettes and, liquor, food, Popeyes, the meats, the, cheese, burgers, hamburgers, the vape stores. There's all these new, since marijuana is legal here now, there's all these new smoke shops that popped up. Pharmacies, just everything in general. Tons of bodegas with ads, the clothing stores, just everything, the churches, everything is like out here programming your mind. Not to mention when you go on your phone with social medias doing the ads, even if you're just on the internet, looking for something, all the ads and things that pop up, TV, the ads, even if you don't have commercials on anything, or you don't watch commercials on TV, or you don't have TV, there's still product placement in movies and series and TV shows, The spiritual war is this. If you're not programming yourself in the morning, if you're not programming yourself at night, then you are going to lose this spiritual war. Let's not even, we could even talk about as far as, these number 5 G, towers that are up, and who knows what frequency is coming out of, these microwave towers, these microwave band towers that are out here. What type of effect these frequencies are having on not only our bodies, but our mind and our mind states. If they could just turn on a frequency and affect your mood, or, affect your digestion, or, your mental state, or even, alter your thoughts subliminally, right? There's the war, the food war, right? It's the Food and Drug Administration, because food is a drug. And this GMO food, genetically modified organisms that they put in the food to make the food taste better, to give it more flavor, to make it more addictive. The pharmaceutical company, when you get sick, the drugs, right? When you're depressed, right? They want to put you on antidepressants, even though antidepressants, right, if you study, they're known to cause brain damage over time, but they still will prescribe them to you if you're depressed. They don't offer you herbs. They don't tell you to ground. They don't tell you to go out in the sun, right? Right now, they don't tell you to exercise. They don't tell you that you could drink certain herbal teas like ashwagandha and St. John's wort. The capitalism war, right? You're broke. You don't have money. You're financially insufficient. Broke thousandaires, right? Calling hundredaires broke, the class war. And then on top of that, you have politics, you have gender, war, male versus female, all these programs running in the background of the mind and being promoted. The spiritual war is you, not a priest, not me, not a prophet, not a shaman, none of that. An imam, right? A mystic. It's about you making the decision every single day to tell yourself a good news story. To, first of all, start the day with gratitude, no matter what you have. As long as you have breath, it's a blessing. As long as you have another day that you woke up and you're alive, it's a blessing. If you have legs, arms, the ability to speak, the ability to hear the sound of my voice even, right? It's a blessing. And even if you have some sort of physical impairment, the fact that you are here, there is still a blessing. Or if you're sick, it's still a blessing if you have another day, because anything could change. And there are miracles that happen if, you are doing the work. And the work is to remain in a frame of mind that is most beneficial to you and your mood. To remain in a frame of mind where you are always looking, thinking, seeking growth, development, and peace, right? Resolving problems, solving problems, escaping victimhood. That's another program that's heavy out there because the internet rewards victims. When you wake up in the morning, right, and you start your day, and it's a grand rising, right? You have to be grateful for it, and you have to tell yourself that this is going to be a great day. You have to visualize what their day is going to look like. You have to emotionally tap into the feeling of what that vision is. And then your gut responses will then correspond. Now, just like commercials, right? Popeyes just doesn't run one commercial, right? They run ads on a regular basis. If you watch I'm just using Popeyes as an example, right? But if you watch any sports, right, show or something like that, or even if you watch reality shows, you're gonna see some sort of Popeyes ad. And they don't just run it once. They run it multiple times, over and over and over and over and over and over and over. When I'm watching like the NBA or football, right? The NBA is running ads damn near every commercial for their league pass, which is basically you could buy the season of NBA games. The NFL is promoting their Sunday ticket where you could watch all the games on Sunday over and over and over and over and over again. See, the thing with spiritual work is this, and what most people got it twisted is this. You think, even though everything is programmed you in repetitious ways, a lot of people think when you're doing spiritual work, if you pray once, you meditate once, you visualize once, you have an affirmation once, that somehow, some way, something miraculous is just going to happen to you from you doing something one time. There's many people who I've done readings for and done consultations for, and they say, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. And I say, the first day you go to the gym, do you build muscles? The first day that you diet, do you lose weight? The first time that you had sex, were you excellent at it? Was it the best sex you ever had, right? The first relationship you had, in life? Was that the best relationship you ever had, right? Were you excellent at being in relationships, friendships, etc., etc.? No. There's repetition that is involved when you light candles and do spirit work, when you take spirit baths, right? When you are doing shadow work, where you are focused on healing your childhood trauma and not being held back by your traumas, right? Because that's really why you're doing the shadow work. The shadow work is so your trauma doesn't give you false conceptions about life, a false perception of the opposite sex, a false perception of the world around you, and allows you the freedom to not be weighed down by the heaviness of whatever trauma you've experienced. And it gives you the fortitude, mental and physical fortitude, to reshape them based on your imaginative powers, to reframe them based on your imaginative powers, and to see what lessons you have learned and what lesson you can share with others, right? And sometimes you go through these traumas just so you could be more aware. Sometimes you go through these traumas just so you could have the understanding and the experience, right? Some of these traumas come from our past lives, and we're here to experience these traumas so that we could heal that part of our ancestral memory. Because what you have in you is junk DNA. And your junk DNA is where your ancestors are held. You know, there's a lot of division that's being programmed right now between men and women, particularly melanated men and women, right? There's a big gender war. And everyone thinks that they're right. Everyone thinks that they're better than the other. They're more powerful than the other. They're more, you know, I'm a woman. We create life, so we create babies, so we're better. I'm a man, you know, we build and we created the infrastructure, so I'm better, right? But it takes a man and a woman to create life. It takes the sperm and the egg to create life. Now, I know animals do parthenogenesis, where they could have children without an opposite mate, right? But that's not something that happens here in 2023 and beyond, right? Women aren't having babies on their own without sperm from a man. Maybe that happened back millions of years ago, right? With Lucy, you know, the first woman or whatever. Maybe that was the case. But that's not where we are today. We've evolved into a space where we have to work together. The man and the woman have to work together to create new life. That's how it goes. What's up, King? 2 men can't make a baby. 2 women can't make a baby, no matter what the program is. They try to convince you that a man is a woman and a woman is a man. And there's the trick of programming is that they use logic, reasoning, words to dull your heart, to dull your intuition. And the reason you have to program yourself day and night, right? Day and night, you have to program yourself because there is a war going on outside. And this is part of the spirit war. The spirit war is to have you feel as insecure, as confused, even speaking of insecurity, even the fashion, the cosmetic, and the, the celebrities and all that. Their job is to make you feel like you are not worthy. You are not popping. You need to look this way. You need to be shaped this way. I dated a woman who worked on reality shows. I've said this before, I believe. but she worked on the reality shows, right? As far as the scripting and things like that. Love and Hip Hops and some of the early BET reality shows and things like that. And it is part of the program, man. You'll see this today, but when they was first coming out, they was part of the programming. Every script, that an episode in each season, whether it's male or female, that there's plastic surgery involved in one of the shows, that they would have to see a plastic surgeon or have a plastic surgeon consultation. And what do you see now? The rise of the BBL, the rise of the plastic surgery. Now, I'm not judging. If you feel a certain way about yourself and you feel like that's what you need to do, hey, all power to you. If you want to risk taking the most dangerous surgery in the world just to have a big ass, hey, that's really your choice. But understand that it is a program to make you feel like you are not worthy, that you are not powerful, that you are not great, that you are not beautiful, that you are not handsome. You have to come to the point and you have to look yourself in the mirror. And this has to be done on a repetitious basis, not one day. And you tell yourself you're beautiful. You have to tell yourself you're handsome. You have to tell yourself that you're amazing. And there are things we all have to work on, right? Even in that, you can't be delusional, right? You have to do work in this life. This path of spirituality is entrepreneurial. It's not employee-based. When you're an employee, you go to church, you go into the temple, right? You're going to the masjid, right? You're following someone else's lead. You're following the pastor, the imam, right? You're following the shaman, and there's a time and place for that. Don't get me wrong. We all need mentorship. But ultimately, the goal is to learn on your own. For instance, when I first started, right, I had a mentor to teach me how to, work with herbs, to teach me how to do readings, and to teach me how to use Solomon seals and sacred geometry, and understanding all these different sciences, aromatherapy, et cetera, right? Like understanding these different spiritual sciences. Even like how to do spells, right? Getting books and copying spells off Pinterest and things that I would see on YouTube and things like that, and learning. But eventually you have to come to the point to where, just like an employee, you want to come to a point where you're able to make your own money outside of work, or even start your own business, or where you are creative enough to find a way to make money and make currency for yourself. And for that, yes, you will have people that work for you, just like you will have people that follow you. But the best spells are the ones that you create yourself, right? They start to come to you. If you're really doing the work, they start to come for you. Spirit will tell you, your ancestors will tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that. Get this baby, get some peppermint, get some roses, right? Get some rose oil, get some honey, right? Depending on the situation, it'll come to you, right? My body, now that I've been doing this work for a while, it fasts at certain times. Like yesterday, I ate what did I eat yesterday? I had a beef patty. That was a beef patty and what I had, a beef patty and plantain chips and sweet potato pie. That's really it. That's all I ate all day. I just came back from the gym. I'm about to go get a salad, and who knows, But I know there was a new moon that came up, new moon in Virgo, so my body is adjusting. So I'm saying all this to say that when you're doing this work, you have to ultimately do it to the point where you get out of You have to do this work so you can get out of your own way, and not even get out of your own way, but get out of being programmed by other people, by other ideas. And this leads to critical thinking. And this leads to you being able to assess other people. Because when you truly know thyself, you're always looking at yourself and seeing, how can I improve? And when you're dedicated to personal, spiritual self-development, really dedicated, you know that no one else can really save you, because you are unique. You're your own being. And you are here to do your own work. But a lot of us think that we're here. See, a lot of it is like church-like behavior here on the internet. People following the leader, right? People following these teachers and these scholars and these influencers. And they want to do a yes, or that's right. I agree, right? It's become echo chambers for fuckery. It's become to where people are spitting knowledge and information that they can't prove, but it sounds good. It's entertaining. They tap into your pain body and trigger you. And then they upsell you on how they can save you. Same thing the preacher does. They talk about all the ills in the world. Then they upsell you on how Jesus is going to sell you, or Jesus is going to save you, and tell you to go put money in the plate after they hit you with the choir and the emotional resonance of that choir. The same thing a lot of these YouTubers do, right? Charismatic and entertaining. And influencers, right? And if you don't think for yourself, if you're not able to program yourself, if you're not able to think for yourself, you'll eventually get swept up in someone else's program. If you're not creating your own reality, if you're not tapping into the best version or the best versions of the personas, your personality creates your personal reality. So if you're not tapping into the best ideas for yourself, if you're not tapping into what you need to improve, and most importantly, if you're not brave enough and courageous enough to take steps that are outside your comfort zone, a lot of this spiritual work, this magic work, is about stepping outside of your comfort zone on a consistent basis. The brain is designed to keep you safe. It's designed to keep you in your comfort zone. It's designed to keep you still. Your brain is mostly a placeholder for memories. If you really study the brain, it's really about holding memories and holding programs. Your ancestral memory are programs. The angels and demons that you think are from someplace out of space and all that, well, as above, so below. So if they're in outer space, and if they're in the air and the sky, right, these angels and demons, so to speak, then they are in you as well. These are your ancestors. You got ancestors that were good, uncles and aunties and cousins and grandmothers and grandfathers, that were people that were seeking a higher purpose. And you have uncles, grandfathers, and aunties that were seeking savagery, that were in their animal, right? And if you're not able to put the pieces together, right? If you're not able to see and fight, right? Break the rules. Go outside of the box. Think outside of the box. Then you're going to fall victim. Because there is a war out here, and the war is for your mind, and the mind controls the body. The mind controls matter. And once you're controlled, then they control you. They control your whole crew, your tribe, your family. Because through you, you're influencing someone, your friends and your family. If you're a negative, cynical person, you're spreading that negativity and cynicism to someone else. If you have anxiety and fears, you're spreading that anxiety and fear to other people. If you're never happy, if bad things are always going to happen, right? For example, I've been talking about this, right? There was this thing last week, right? So they were sharing this video on Instagram, windy.com, right? Where there was supposed to be some big storm and hurricane, and people were sending it to me, and I appreciate it. Again, I thank y'all for that. You know, I know y'all just want the best for me, you know? But Rob Blackstorm, I've been doing this work so much that I am optimistic, right? Optimum mysticism. So my optimum mysticism tells me that I am a magical, powerful being. My magic and mysticism tells me that no matter what happens in life, I am going to be okay. My optimism tells me that yes, there will be ups and downs in this life because it's a roller coaster. But my optimism tells me that I will eventually come out of it as long as I am consistently doing the work. As long as if I fall off the work, as long as I go back to the work of personal spiritual development, the work of not falling victim to someone else's program, but being on my program, the work of living and finding my purpose, the work of breaking out of my comfort zones and doing the things that I may not want to do, but the things that are best for me. See, we live in a time where everyone is comfortable, right? This is a very soft time. You got cell phones, you got iPads. I remember growing up in the 90s, man. Young Rob, this is Rob now. Young Rob, 16, 17-year-old Rob, this internet shit would be a bonanza for a stick-up kid like me. People be posting where they are, what they're doing, what they're wearing, how much money they have, their location. Nigga. Nigga. When they're on vacation, right? Where they live, the apartment, the buildings, the home numbers. You see crazy things here on this internet. Flossing. This is because they are being programmed they're being programmed to think that this computer, this phone, this computer is reality, when it's not. A lot of people behind these screens aren't who you think they are. A lot of people behind these scenes aren't who you think they are. They have a lot of knowledge, they may be charismatic, they might have a lot of wisdom, but you get around them in real life and you quickly see something different, right? That's why I come to y'all. I don't be like I'm some goody super righteous, I'm a street nigga, you know what I'm saying? I sold drugs, I robbed people back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I changed my life, I transformed through spirituality to become a better person, but that's still in me, that is part of my roots. I went through a lot growing up, a lot of traumas that I've had to heal, and I'm still healing to this day. It's not over, and you're never fully healed. You're never fully healed, because once you think you're fully healed, there's going to be another trigger that comes up that'll show you that you still got work to do. This is part of the spiritual war. They say in the church that you're soldiers in the army of God, right? You're soldiers in the army of the Lord, right? If you're a soldier in the army of God, then what do soldiers do? Soldiers first have to go to boot camp, right? They go to boot camp to train. They go to boot camp to purge the civilian out of them, to purge the laziness, to purge the weakness, and they are programmed for war. Before they fire a gun, before they go on the battlefield, they go through boot camp. Then they go through training, right? It's hard, it's intense. You gotta break habits. You gotta break the mold of who you were. You gotta change your mode of thinking. This is being prepared for war. You gotta train on a consistent basis. The sniper doesn't just train to be a sniper for a couple of days or a couple of months and that's it. No, he has to constantly update and constantly keep firing his gun. The bodybuilder doesn't work out for a year or so and stop. No, if he wants to remain a bodybuilder, he got to keep working out. So it's up to you ultimately. You can get all the knowledge in the world and regurgitate all the knowledge that you want. But if you're not going to put in the work to grow mentally, to grow physically, to grow financially, and grow spiritually, the four corners of life that are most important. Because if you don't have money, in every tree of life, the first step on the tree is Malkut. If you're looking at the Kemetic, it's Geb. That deals with the physical world, the physical reality, food, clothing, and shelter. If you don't have that, you really don't have anything. And a lot of people are using spirituality as a reason to be lazy. You think you could just manifest it. You think you could just candle it. You think you could just spirit bath it. You think you can just money oil it. Those things will help provide you opportunities. But if you're not willing to put in the work to make it happen, then it's not going to happen. If you're not willing to learn new skills, if you're not willing to become financially literate, right? Not following a spiritual nigga. I've said this before. I am a certified small business financial specialist. 1. I am a certified debt specialist. 2. You don't see me coming here on the internet talking about finance at all. I don't talk to you about credit. I don't talk to you about stocks. I don't talk to you about bonds. I don't talk to you about puts and calls. I don't talk to you about interest rates. I don't talk to you about APRs. That's not what I am here for, right? Even though it is one of my strengths, that's not what I'm here for. Because I'm not trying to hustle y'all out of nothing. This is my purpose. This is what I have to do, not what I want to do. I am like Jonah. If you look at a Bible story, right? I am like Jonah, right? I had to be put in the whale to do this. And the whale was prison, right? But I've been in other whales as well, where I've had to go within and really soul search. There's some times where I'm like, is this what I'm even supposed to be doing? And when I stop for a little while, Spirit shows me that, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I gotta do. So, always remember that there was a war going on outside. I'm not talking about black and white. Those days of black and white, yeah, they exist, but not to the level that the media is pushing on you. There was just this viral story about, where I saw there was a dinner party and the police knocked out some white girl and punched another white girl. These are white police, white cops against white people, right? It didn't hit the news. There's no White Lives Matter protest. It didn't even really go viral like that. Because the media pushes a narrative to make you feel like a victim. If we really want to get rid of police brutality, then you got to pass some laws. Protesting ain't going to do it. You got to influence Congress. You got to create political action committees, right? There's a lot of apathy in the world. There's a lot of, we're waiting for Jesus to do it. We're waiting for the aliens to come. There's a lot of apathy. There's a lot of throw your hands up and let things be as just let things be, and things will change, right? But things ain't going to change unless you change them. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So there's some of you who have callings for various things, right? Some of y'all supposed to be in the political arena. Some of y'all supposed to be councilmen with altars, with honey jars and love jars, with crystals under your suits and Solomon seals under your suits. Some of y'all are supposed to be creating books for children and be teaching children how to meditate how to breed tension. But you have to come to the space to where you understand that unless you take the active steps to train like a soldier in the army of God, because you are one with God and God is one with you. And you have ancestors that are here to help, but you got to run the ball. You got to run the play. You can get coached all day, but until you run the ball and run the plays, it's not going to work for you. And it all starts with, if you have nothing, no candles, no crystals, no herbs, it all starts here, and it all starts here. Your thoughts and your emotions. And don't expect it to happen one day. Don't expect it to happen in 2 days. Give it time. It took a long time for me to get this way. Do you know how long I was pro-black? Do you know how long I was a victim of police brutality? They doing this to us. They won't give us this. They won't get us that way. They won't give us reparations. Why don't you compete? Why don't you compete, soldier? Why don't you go to war for what you want? And I'm not talking about a gun war. I'm talking about a strategic war. I'm talking about that Alegba energy, that trickster energy, where you are spooking us at by the door, or you like, fuck it. I'm getting the fuck out of here, and I'm going to establish something else. So I'm going to create my own. Oh, they always, whenever we create our own, they always, well, this ain't motherfucking, this ain't 1960, my nigga. They always destroy our own. Look at Black Wall Street. Look at Tulsa. This is not those times. This is not those times. I hate to tell you. This is 2023. We got AI. I could go on the computer and I could be a white man. I could be a Hispanic man. I could be an Asian man. I could be whatever I want with AI. That racist shit is back in the days. During the pandemic, there was Republicans, Democrats, black, white, people all over the world of different shades and hues who were fighting back against the hokey pokey, who were fighting back against the lockdowns, who were fighting back against the mandates. 9/11 just passed. I lived in New York when I first came home was 2021. That January, that winter is when the towers hit, right? I was here for that. And I remember everybody, people of all races and hues, going down to the towers, trying to help, trying to, see what they could do, and things like that. You think, a lot of y'all think that the only avatar you've ever been was melanated. Y'all don't really understand resurrection. Y'all don't really understand that spirit wants you to experience all things. So that when you are ready to ascend into a menta, when you are ready to ascend into the astral world, when you are ready to go and meet your ancestors in serious being, that you are prepared for that planet. And forgive people who have done you dirty. Forgive people who have done you wrong, because they are part of you. And know that you have done people dirty and you have done people wrong too. Stop thinking you're an angel because you got a little bit of book knowledge and spirituality. You done prayed and wore some crystals and got a dashiki, and you think that you're all perfect and you're all good. You're not. You're not. You fucked people over. You've done some dirty things. Maybe in your ignorance. Maybe when you were younger. You broken hearts. All that, right? So forgive people. This doesn't mean you have to bring them around you. This doesn't mean you have to hang out with them. This doesn't mean you have to, I got issues with some family members. I don't hang out with them, right? I don't see them often. But I have to forgive them, not for them, but for me, because it's a spiritual war. The goal is my eye. The goal is peace. The goal is for the heart to be as light as a feather, so that when it's time to go, I can just send the fuck out of here. If you're weighed down by racism, if you're weighed down by politics, if you're weighed down by why we not getting reparations, if you're weighed down by why everybody's not waking up, if you're weighed down by the world and not your own personal freedom, what's up, Ken? If you're weighed down by, you know, these influences, sexy red, right? If you're weighed down by these things, then how are you going to ascend past the stratosphere when it's time to leave the planet? You're going to still be stuck on Earth. Even weighed down as something as simple as your children, right? Some people want to control their children by any means necessary. You can't control life. You can only control your reaction to it. You can't control life. You can only control your reaction to it. Some of y'all need to detox. Get you some wormwood tea and start drinking it in the morning. You need to detox some parasites out of your body. Get you some wormwood tea. If you're suffering from depression, get you some St. John's wort tea. Get you some ashwagandha. Drink it at night before bed. Right? Take chances. Take risks. Step out of your comfort zone. Do things that scare you. Do things that, you know, there's times where, you know, I might go on top of a tall building, and look down, right? Because I had a big fear of heights. And I'll look down and I'll feel my body shake, right? I'll feel that nervousness. And I'll back up and I'll do it again. And I'll do it again. So now, I still don't like heights, right? I'm still not a fan of heights. But I'm not as scared as I used to be. I used to be scared of dogs, right? I've talked about this many times. I do program myself through being around dogs or through meditating on dogs. Now I can be around a dog comfortable, you know? I've taught my daughter at a young age not to be scared of mice and not to be scared of insects. And she has other members of her family who are scared of these things, you know? And she's recognized now she's older that I have programmed her to not have those fears. A lot of y'all spread fears on your children, and you think it's making them safe, but it's really making them cowards. It's really holding them back in life. It's really holding them back from them being their best self and their highest self. Just because you're scared, don't spread that shit on your kids. If you see that your kid is fearless and want to do certain things, let them live. Because they're the future. Let them live. Let them be great. Don't hold them back. We got to get rid of these programs. And we got to really focus on what's important for us, what brings us happiness, what brings us joy, what makes us feel better about ourselves, what makes us more loving, what makes us more caring, right? And if you want to use a word, what makes us more righteous, right? And righteousness is not about being a goody two-shoes. Righteousness is about doing what's right when the moment is suited for it, right? Like I've been saying in my other videos, Ori means select head. So it's about selecting what emotion, because that's all emotions are, different frequencies, different vibrations, different energy signatures, selecting which emotion is best for you at that particular junction. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from it. The Matrix is designed to keep you trapped, to keep you distracted, to keep you overwhelmed, to keep you chasing the Joneses, to keep you thinking that you need this and you need that, you have to have this, and if you don't, you're inadequate, right? There's people overseas that have way less than you and way happier than you. there's people overseas who have less than nothing materially, but have family, but have friendships, but have strong social circles, and they're able to live longer than you. They're not on antidepressants, right? They're not on that medication. They're not smoking weed and drugs every day, right? Sipping, whatever, popping perks every day, or even on mushrooms every day, right? A lot of y'all think that's going to save you, taking mushrooms and microdosing every day. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with plant medicine, but anything in excess is detrimental, right? Anything in excess is detrimental. The goal is for you to be the best version of you. Get you some atomic ormus. Get you some chlorophyll. Put it in your water. Get to meditating. Start taking spirit baths at new moons and full moons to change your energy and vibration, right? Start creating your own oils. There's ways on how to do it, right? You don't always have to buy them off. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with buying them off anybody, but you could, learn to do these things for yourself. Stop being dependent. What if this whole shit gets hit with a comet? America gets hit with a fucking comet and this shit fries the internet. Then what? We're lucky and blessed enough to live in times where we have the internet, we have social media. But I come from a time where we didn't have the internet and social media. And you had to learn through libraries. You had to go and, go to bookstores and get books. You had to really, really, really want it. You had to really, really, really want it. And there wasn't this many people talking about spirituality and chakras and magic and all that. This wasn't that. This is new shit. So people talk about modern women, we're in a modern world. And modern world, right, requires certain things, rituals, right? If you look at any ancient or traditional ritual, right, you'll see three main things. You're going to see some sort of symbol of a deity, right, where they're resonating with a certain color. You're going to hear a chant, right, or a mantra, right, and you're going to have dance and movement. Those are the three main components of a ritual. You could replicate this in your own home. You could replicate this with your family. This is the spiritual war. The reason we use the moons and, different solar events is not just because it's trendy and it's cool. You use these things because they provide a certain energetic frequency. And by tapping into this frequency and using it correctly, according to the being of that particular energetic signature, whatever the month resonates with, Virgo deals with the body, right? It's ruled by Mercury, communication, technology, right? Preparing, storing things for the winter. Virgo is our work, right? So getting some work in, right? Preparing yourself. And right now you want to be getting herbs that are like, you want to be getting like lemons, limes, citrus, right? You want to prepare your body because we're going into winter. So a lot of you will get sick because you've been dieting the same way and eating the same way that you have been. This is a time for berries, blackberries, blueberries, citrus, right? And if the body's not healthy, you can't generate a strong electromagnetic field and you won't be as magical as you think you are. I'm not saying that, you got to go vegan, right? Because I'm not vegan. But I am saying you got to have a well-balanced diet. And because you want to generate enough power so that your electromagnetic field, your electricity starts with your thoughts, your mental, and your magnetism, your heart, right? Your emotions. And you want those to be in line with your highest good. You don't want to be thinking about your fears. They say that science says that we think of 60% of our thoughts are negative about ourselves. And I, at one point, was there. But I programmed myself over time that when I am down and feel, somewhat, you could say depressed, right? Or feel out of it, or something happens and throws me off my game, that as long as I go outside and I walk and I start thinking about it and shit, and I might throw some binaural beats on, some gamma waves stimulate higher thought, right, and focus. This is what I do when something happens out of the blue, or I'm stressed out, or I'm going through something, right? And I'll feel those thoughts creep up, because they happen to all of us. Even, I don't care, the most spiritual, the most magical, the most metaphysical that you see on here, wearing all white and robes, and, and I ain't hating, that's what they choose to do. I choose to do me. When you see them doing that, right, they going through shit too. They're going through ups and downs too. They're going through hardships too. We all do. And you have to find ways to program that. But I now that I've been doing this for a while, even when those thoughts come up, there's other thoughts that come up. It's like, nah, nigga, we gonna go this way. Like, that's how my ancestors talk to me. They talk to me like street niggas. You know what I'm saying? Nah, this is what we gonna do. Nah, this is how you need to think. Nah, it's gonna be all right. Nope, it's gonna get better. Nope, this is gonna transform. Nope, this is what you need to do. A lot of y'all sitting on your ass waiting for something to come and waiting for something to happen. And while you're waiting, guess what's happening? You're being programmed by the internet. You're being programmed by social media. You're being programmed by your aunties, your mama, your daddy, school, the world, TV, your TV series, ads, advertisers. This is what happens when you don't take your life in your own hands. Preachers, prophets, prophecies, fears. Where's the flood, right? This is what people were sending to me. This week, New York, there's this big flood coming, this big hurricane. It's going to wash us all away.
Okay, I'm going to make this video, Wendy.com. You can track this yourself. Today is Wednesday the 6th. I'm going Wednesday. Now let's go to Thursday. I want y'all to pay attention to something in real time. I want you to keep an eye on that sucker down there. Thursday evening, Friday morning. I'm doing this off this tracker over here where my cursor is. See that? Friday. Watch. Saturday the 9th. Saturday midday, Saturday evening. Just watch, guys. Sunday the 10th, Sunday midday, Sunday evening, early Monday morning the 11th. What's popping up? Midday Monday, evening, early morning Thursday the 12th. Midday Thursday, Thursday evening, 13th on Wednesday. Y'all seeing this? 14th on Thursday. Are y'all seeing this? Thursday evening, early Friday morning, the 15th. Are y'all seeing this, right? Midday Friday on the 15th. Boom. And what does it have in its path? Now, where is that some bitch named Lee? Right here. Where is Lee? All of these have conjoined to give you the biggest storm the East Coast has ever seen. From Florida all the way up to New York. These storms have merged. So, for those that come in here to give me negative comments, I just proved to you in real time. And I advise everybody to start checking this from here on out that watches this video. Please share this because this could save a lot of lives on the East Coast. From Florida all the way up to New York. Please, this sleight of hand. Much love. Peace.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Imagine if I would have fell into this fear. I'd be scared all fucking week. I'd be scared last week when it was raining. This is what happens when you program yourself. You don't believe none of this shit. You get rid of your anxiety. I used to be super anxiety. I used to be super negative. I used to be super cynical. The world was against me and black people. Now the world is for me and melanated people and black people, so-called, right? This is due to the work, though. I'm not better than anybody, any one of you. Not at all. Not at all. But what I do is I put in this motherfucking work, right? I meditate. I use my altar. I don't just use my altar to get things, right? Today I'm gonna buy a white candle just to honor my ancestors, just to be grateful and thankful for what they did in their life. Ain't no petition on there for shit. It's just gonna be for them. I'm gonna draw an ankh on there, and that's it. And I'm gonna tell them that this is for them, and I do this on a regular basis, right? This ain't just for something. Y'all be thinking this magic shit is an ATM. Like it's just to get some shit. This spiritual shit is an ATM. It's an exchange, quid pro quo. If I put the right amount of bay leaf, and if I put the right amount of peppermint, right? And if I put the right amount of coffee, and if I get St. Expedite a loaf of bread, what is it? St. Expedite, if I give him not a loaf of bread, what is it? Pound cake, right? And that's all I need to do. And yeah, those things will work, don't get me wrong. But those are like licks, you know what I'm saying? Those are like hitting a lick. It's not really sustainable if you don't have no financial literacy, if you don't understand economics, right? You want to get a boo, you get that boo, and you have no social skills. You haven't learned how to enhance your personality. You're a man, you don't open doors, you don't pull chairs, you don't know how to make a woman laugh, you don't have no sense of humor, you have no manners, you have no respect amongst other men, you have no strength, right? You have no purpose other than going to work. You have no real life, right? You're not a joy to be around. But you manifested the baddie. But you manifested your husband. But you manifested your wife. You manifested the partner. They came into your life. This happens. But you fumbled them. You did it. The magic worked. You manifest. That's all you do in magic. You manifest the opportunities. That's it. It's up to you to what you do with the opportunities. Yeah, you manifested a car, right? Luxury car, right? You manifested a luxury car. Dude bought it for you, a girl bought it for you, or whatever happened. You manifested the money, you were able to get it. But you couldn't maintain it because you was reckless. You was driving drunk, right? You had the wrong people in it. You just got bad energy around you. You're negative, so negative shit happens to you. Car gets scratched up, get flat tires out of nowhere. You know? Gear shift fucking up. I remember I was dating this girl, all type of shit was happening to her. I was like, what the fuck? I never seen no shit like this in my life. But she was always negative. She always had a bad view of everything. Her future, everything in her future was bad. Everything in her future she was cynical about. She was fearful about everything. And shit just kept falling apart in her life. I had to get the fuck away from her. Because I'm like, this ain't gonna happen in my life. My life, I don't, yeah, I go through shit like all of us do, but her shit was like back to back to back to back to back to back. But that's because she was always negative. She was always cynical. The world was against her. She was a victim of everything. She never took accountability. And there's people like that in the world, and if you associate with them, guess what? They will drag you down. They're energy vampires. This is the spiritual war. This is being a soldier in the army of God, for real. This is the training, the daily training that you got to do to arm yourself, to have the weapons needed to say, nah, this ain't for me. To say, nah, this is what the program is. This is what's trending. Nah, this ain't where I'm going. Oh, nah, this is the new spirituality you're talking about. Oh, niggas is waiting for the aliens. Oh, niggas is waiting for fucking reparations. Oh, niggas is dividing and conquering themselves between FBA, the Caribbean, and Africa, even though they all black, and when the cops stop them, they don't see no FBA, Caribbean, or African. When the permanent underclass all over the world looks like me, and that's the program, but people are separating themselves. When you fall victim to lifestyle marketing because you think once you get rich and you get designer, I hope all of y'all, see, I grew up with a parent with money. So I understand what it looks like when people want to get your money. I understand what it looks like when you're stressed and you got a lot of money. I understand how manipulative people could be when they know you have money. How fake people could be when they know you have money. Everybody is not built. Some of y'all got habits. The minute y'all got a certain amount of money, you're gonna drug yourself the fuck out. Kill yourself, kill yourself. But if you are a spiritual being sincerely, funds will be provided to you. You will be financially solvent. That I can tell you in real time. I'm telling you things that I live. You could go back to my videos 2019, 2018 when I was going through the struggle. And through the struggle, I'm encouraging y'all and sharing it with y'all and telling y'all what I'm doing and what you could do. The evidence is there. It took me a minute to get to where I am now, but I'm here now. And it may take you a minute to get to where you are, but if you put in the work consistently, going through the ups and downs, just like a soldier when they're training, go through your boot camp, go through your training and be consistent in it. Be consistent in the work. Be sincere about really wanting to be the best version of yourself. Not just manifest money, cars, hoes, and clothes. You will be one with the universe, and the universe will respond to you, and you'll start seeing more so-called coincidences, which are really confirmations of your greatness and your magic and your spiritual prowess and production. You are the money, after all. Whatever your work you're doing, that is what's bringing the money. So start doing the work on yourself. You will shine bright like a diamond. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rod Blackstone. I love all y'all. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Peace.
Your mind is a magnet. Now, I have what I call sometimes my mantra, and it's this: good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Why do I keep saying that? Because this is what I want to magnetize my mind for. The subconscious is that silent listener, and everybody has that subconscious part of the mind that hears everything you say, and it is impressed by everything you feel and everything you think. That's why I'm rather cautious about reading about what kind of flu is coming for the season. Why? Because you have a silent subconscious listener down there. And that silent subconscious listener hears that, and if it becomes impressed with that, then it'll go around having that kind of flu. And we don't want to magnetize our minds for what we do not desire. We do not want to demagnetize our minds concerning good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money.